Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The Watkins Glen Go Bowling Cup Series race at Watkins Glen this weekend was one of a kind. Our Josh Feldberg was at Watkins Glen International to recap the race.
NASCAR fans across the Southern Tier were ready for another great race at Watkins Glen International. The NASCAR Go Bowling at the Glen race returned to the track this weekend, making history along the way. 7 different countries were represented in the race, the most in NASCAR history. Perhaps the headliner of the international field was Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen is a former Formula One driver and F1 world champion. Räikkönen made his NASCAR Cup Series debut this weekend at the Glen. Other key drivers in the race were Chase Elliott, who is looking to secure the 2022 regular season championship and his 3rd win at the Glen, Joey Logano, who performed well in qualifying, and Kyle Larson, the 2021 Go Bowling champion and winner of the Xfinity Series race the day before on Saturday. After a long-lasting rain delay, the drivers hit the track for the 90-lap race. Räikkönen was driving well, reaching as high as 8th place before spinning out after a collision with another car. Chase Elliott led the race for 29 of the 90 laps and was leading going into a restart with 5 laps to go. Elliott chose to restart in an outside lane from Kyle Larson. After the restart, Elliott took a turn far off track, allowing Larson to pass and hang on to win the race.
Nice to get a win yesterday, and then back it up today. Our car was super good, so I felt like Chase and I were pretty equal.
Larson has now won back-to-back years at the Glen and completed the rare weekend sweep. The 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion secured his 18th career win and 2nd win of the 2022 season. Joey Logano would finish in 3rd and Chase Elliott in 4th. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Watkins Glen.
The All Saints Academy in Corning announced it will not reopen for the upcoming school year. All Saints will be closing due to a lack of enrollment in the school. Only 33 of the 102 students necessary to balance the school's budget were enrolled for this year, according to All Saints. The school stated most families withdrew their enrollment due to financial reasons. Mansfield University received a gift from the Mansfield Foundation in the sum of $425,000. The gift will be allocated to student recruitment and retention. The Mansfield Foundation has allowed for more than $1 million in scholarships for university students. A Sayre man facing felony charges after falsely imprisoning a teenager and conducting a fake traffic stop. According to the police report, 18-year-old Joseph Harold Tubbs was tailgating a 17-year-old in Smithfield Township when he flashed his headlights and pulled the teen over. Tubbs reportedly showed the teen a badge, ordered him out of the car, and put the teen in handcuffs. Tubbs then told the teen he would let him go due to no other officers in the area. Tubbs was involved in a 1-car crash later that day and taken to Bradford County Prison. The New York State Fair will have a mobile DMV office this year. Fair goers will be able to apply for enhanced licenses at the mobile office. Enhanced licenses will be necessary to fly domestic flights beginning May of 2023. Fairgoers will also be able to take eye tests and buy custom license plates. The DMV mobile booth will be located in the Center for Progress building. A new warning for college students going to school in New York. State officials are warning that scammers are targeting incoming freshmen and returning students for their personal information. Richard Giacovis has more.
Right before Iona College freshman Skylar Newberger flew to New York to begin his freshman year here in New Rochelle, he thought he had landed his dream internship at Apple.
They said that we had a really great position for you working with our CEO, and we'd love to have you around.
After applying for internships online, Skylar's first offer came from someone who claimed they worked for the tech company.
I went into a fake interview and got the job, per se, and then I showed up to Apple, and they had no idea who I was.
Skylar was the victim of an internship scam, one of the many scams the New York State Division of Consumer Protection is warning about. Incoming freshmen seem to be the target.
It's all new to them. They're like any other type of consumer. They're looking for the best price. They're looking for a good deal.
Some of the scams include promises of a scholarship, free tuition or unpaid loans, roommate and rental scams, and credit card fraud.
They want your information. Students need to be very much aware, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. You can check Better Business Bureau. If it has to do with scholarships, go to your university.
Skylar didn't leave any personal information, but he has since learned his lesson. He also has some advice for other students about to embark on their college careers.
Don't take the first offer that jumps at you.
Why not?
Because not everything is what it seems to be.
Experts say never reveal your personal information unless you're absolutely sure about the identity of the person you are speaking with. That means no personal address, no social security number, not even your credit card number. And here's another good tip. Be careful of what you post online, because most of the time, it's never private. We're in New Rochelle. Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News.
Millions of Americans are under flood watches as heavy rain falls across the southern plains and northeast. In Texas, several inches of water is covering roads and highways. Robert Ray has more.
Torrential rain trapping drivers across Dallas Monday morning.
I was just kind of spinning around, not knowing what to do.
Up to 8 inches fell in just a few hours. The water quickly flooded streets, stranding drivers like this woman. I pushed her car from the floodwaters this morning and carried her to the side of the road. Other cars went around barricades, but turned away at the last minute.
I was just panicking because I just wanted to get out of my car and get out of the water. I wanted to get my car out of the water, but it's clearly gone.
Monday's storms added to the nearly 4 inches of rain that fell across North Texas on Sunday. The Dallas Police Department has asked drivers to avoid water-covered streets and stay home if possible. The wet weather impacted a large part of the U.S. over the weekend. Several inches of rain fell across the Salt Lake City area. The city of Moab declared a state of emergency after the heavy water flooded trails and businesses.
And that allows us to have extra resources and funding from the state and hopefully the feds from FEMA to help us with this cleanup and help businesses and individuals have some funding to support their efforts in cleaning up.
Many hoping the wet weather will ease drought conditions across the country. But one environmental expert says the rain won't be a quick fix.
The long-term trend in every single model in this area shows that we are going to get steadily drier.
Here in Texas, forecasters say the roads should dry out later this week as this system moves east. In Dallas, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
Still ahead, we have your complete forecast. Plus,
if you've ever wanted to live in space, you don't want to miss this. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with a look inside what our future homes could look like on Mars, coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Some much-needed rainfall has been draping its way across much of New York over the last 24 hours. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and we watched a low-pressure system head its way towards the area starting on Saturday. A few hundredths of an inch there noted, but we did see upwards of a half an inch of rainfall on Sunday, and then preliminary reports already seen so far today. I'm seeing anywhere from an inch to up to 2 inches. Elmira specifically, at least an inch and a half was able to fall into our Monday afternoon time frame. Now, we watched the low-pressure system really spin across the Great Lakes. We watched it move its way into Lake Ontario, and you see that sporadic shower and thunderstorm activity that brought those downpours throughout the day. Now, we'll watch some of this shower and thunderstorm activity start to become a bit more widely scattered into our Tuesday forecast, as the low pressure system will more have a proximity towards Vermont and into Maine, where we'll be on that backside of that cold front, where just some of that very saturated atmosphere of some foggy conditions and just some light stray showers will be within the mix, but we'll still keep that chance in place. So overall, expect that through the overnight. We'll work out some of those stronger showers and thunderstorms, and more just talk about some light showers and some foggy conditions to start off our Tuesday morning. So temperatures will be able to fall down to about 62 into Elmira, to about 61 into the Finger Lakes area there. Now we'll note that average is about 56, so we see that that cloud cover does still keep us more on the mild note, even though the cold front passage continues to occur as we step through the overnight. But with just the saturated atmosphere behind it, we see that that cloud cover really hugs off those temperatures, but but we won't see much warming throughout the day on Tuesday, so highs expected to stay within those 70s overall. We'll also see the fog in the morning, some light showers into the afternoon, but we should return to that sunshine as we step really through the rest of the week, starting on Wednesday and into the weekend. Now, there will be a small disturbance that we'll keep an eye on. That's going to come late on Friday into Saturday morning. Not expecting much from it, but a little bit dosing of rainfall is definitely a possibility. So rolling through our extended forecast here, you see that again, more of that activity not as organized and not as widespread as we were seeing. A little uptick possible into the afternoon again with some of that heating that we typically see day to day. That could spark up a little bit of a downpour here and there, but not going to see the concerns of some flooding like we were dealing with today. So we should see then some brighter skies by about Wednesday to start to dry us out. Temperature wise, as we head into Tuesday, again staying cooler into those mid 70s. We even see a few lower 70s through the Finger Lakes. Bath around 76, Elmira and Corning 77 to 78 degrees. So overall slightly below average, feeling cooler due to the rainy conditions. But as we get back into the sunshine, it does not take long to get us back above average. We're looking at mid 80s there in Elmira and Corning. So tapping back into some southerly warmth will allow for those temperatures to rebound. And then we'll stick through much of the week and into the weekend underneath that sunshine. 87 on Thursday, 83 on Friday. A little bit of that afternoon shower and thunderstorm will knock those temperatures down, but at least the weekend is looking very pleasant as we'll stay under that bright sunshine.
Ever wonder what your house might look like if you lived on Mars? A team of artists and scientists is now revealing a model home that they say could be the perfect sustainable dwelling in space. Our Ashley Strohmeyer has a closer look.
While the housing market on Earth remains a little dicey, a new project is giving us a glimpse of what our future homes may look like on Mars.
This is a place for people to think about future living.
Located in Bristol, England, a team of artists are unveiling their rendition of a typical Martian home after spending 7 years working with scientists, space experts, and engineers to research the best ways we can live sustainably on the red planet.
It's gold to reflect dangerous solar rays and cosmic radiation, and it's inflatable because it would be filled with a special concrete made of the dust and water that you find on Mars.
The Golden Dome will be the top of the two-story complex. It'll serve as the main living space and a hydroponics center where special plants can grow to assist with health and wellness.
Underground in the amazing lava tubes which exist under the surface of Mars, that's where the bedrooms and bathrooms would be.
The second level of the home is where things get a little more compact.
In here is your bedroom. They're tiny. This is your only private space in the whole house. This is where you keep your things, you do some work, and then over here is the toilet.
Meanwhile, the home will also feature solar panels for power and be able to withstand temperatures of negative 81 degrees, which is standard on Mars. To build a home that can function in those conditions, architects turn to the Arctic for inspiration.
Antarctica is often considered by the big space agencies as the best terrestrial analogue for space exploration.
The Martian home officially opens its doors to visitors at the end of this month. They remain open until mid-October.
Don't forget, back to school season also applies to college students. As millions move into their new dorms for the year, a whole new slate of freshmen will be embarking on their college careers for the first time, while many of their parents will be learning how to navigate life as empty nesters. Ted Lindner has the scoop on what academic officials say students and their families can do to help ensure their success come fall.
Back to school season is right around the corner, and for many first-time college students and their parents, it's a journey full of twists and turns.
They're not a child anymore, but they're not a fully formed adult yet.
So how can freshmen find their footing? Student affairs professionals say success starts by being actively engaged during their orientation.
I think it's critical for first-year students to make social connections as soon as they possibly can. We really want them to meet other people.
And while it may sound counterintuitive, new students can also find success through their failures.
Allow for the student to have some failures and to have a challenge, and to just be that listening ear, help direct them to some of the resources that they need to utilize on campus. But the goal would be not to do it for the student. It's really a moment in the student's life for them to establish some level of independence.
By encouraging students to be more independent, academic experts say it can help prepare them to meet their professors' expectations.
The student really has to learn how to adjust to that environment where it's on the student to take initiative.
And speaking of professors, once your students' classes start, don't be alarmed if they tell you faculty are messaging them on social media.
all the traditional channels of communication are somewhat ignored by this generation. Right? I'll spend a lot of time crafting a really lovely email only to hear from students, oh yeah, I deleted that.
With a growing number of universities embracing apps like Instagram to communicate about classes and assignments.
Still ahead, an 86-year-old California man explains how his love for water polo began and why he keeps playing. That story and more coming up. The housing market sees a sharp decline. The cost of raising a child increases due to inflation, and McDonald's puts a new spin on a classic. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
The housing market seeing its biggest drop in nearly 2 decades, with home sales hitting their lowest level in 7 years. Existing home sales data showing a 5.9% drop in sales between June and July, and a 20% drop in the same period 1 year ago. That drop marking the 6th consecutive month of decline. This as the median price of a home has risen nearly 11% from a year ago, sitting at just over $400,000. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg calling the recent increase in flight delays and cancellations unacceptable. Buttigieg writing to the CEOs of 10 major U.S. airlines, warning his department could take action against them if they do not provide more transparency during flight disruptions. Buttigieg asking the airlines to at least provide lodging for passengers stranded overnight and to give out meal vouchers to passengers experiencing delays of 3 or more hours. The average cost of raising a child in the U.S. jumping to more than $300,000 thanks to inflation. The Brookings Institution says that's a little more than $18,000 a year until the child turns 17. That's a 9% increase from their last estimate in 2015. And McDonald's giving a twist to a classic with their Chicken Big Mac, which replaces 2 beef patties with tempura chicken. The fast food chain will be testing out the new sandwich in select Miami locations later this month after becoming a big hit in the United Kingdom when released earlier this year.
A California man is making a splash in the sport of water polo. So much so that he was recently profiled in a New York Times article. But the reason for his fame might not be what you'd expect. Dennis Shanahan explains.
As the sun sets on the Shaw Aquatic Center in Davis, a quiet peacefulness takes over the water. There are no ripples or splashes, only abandoned lanes and water as smooth as glass. But when the sun goes down, the lights turn on for a unique group of athletes.
I'm Mark Raleigh. I may be the oldest water polo player in the world. Who knows? But I'm certainly the worst.
At 86 years young, there were some second guesses when he showed up to his first practice over 10 years ago.
What the hell's he doing here? But he's smart, he's hardworking, he keeps on going. My water polo name is Doc Hofer. People all over the country know me by that.
Water polo is just a great workout, and I can get my heart rate up.
A great workout from a sport introduced to Brawley by a friend.
Well, I had a dear friend, Ross Yanker, who's no longer with us, who taught me how to shoot at a goal.
He wanted to score goals so badly when he first got here, and it took a while. But he scores on a regular basis, and it makes him happy.
Happiness shared throughout the team.
So it sort of draws characters, people that have good character, that are team players.
Some of them are really good players. Yeah, it's fun to watch them. I learn a lot from watching them.
Which goes to show it's never too late to learn or inspire.
I don't have to inspire them, they inspire me.
We were rooting for him when he first came in, and now we're rooting for him. We want to see if he can get to World Masters games eventually.
So what would Brawley's life be missing without water polo?
A lot of fun, because I do swim several times a week, and it's just not as much fun as what a lot of people say that. They were just swimmers until they discovered water polo, and they said, what the hell, this is fun. The other isn't.
Fun that has a lasting impact on the people around him.
He's just a special guy. He's really smart. He's really sharp. He's accomplished a lot in his life, and he's going to accomplish some more.
Stay with us. We'll have more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. Baristas showing off their skills during a latte art competition in Amman. The competition was part of the Jordan Coffee Festival. Baristas made their best pours on several stages in Amman on Saturday, with 70 baristas starting in the competition, but only 18 qualifying for the finals. The Jordan Coffee Festival promotes coffee culture throughout the kingdom, and while it's a local competition now, organizers hope to eventually join the international championships. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you for watching.